Alright, welcome back to another division video. This one's going to be going over our 1.7 Tactician. This is a global event Tactician. I'd rather how this is set up. We have the Ninja Bike messenger bag once again, and we're actually using a Vigorous 3-piece tack and then Reclaimer. Vigorous, so we get the overheal while we're in the support station. 3-piece tack, so we actually get the benefit of the 4-piece tack. So we get that extra 30% skill power, and then the 1-piece Reclaimer will actually give us the, activate the 2-piece Reclaimer, which gives us the bigger support station range. I think it's 30% support station range, so we have that. I'm using different weapons in this, or a different primary in this, so I will go over that real quick and kind of explain why, and then we'll go over everything, and then we'll actually go ahead and show you what this thing actually does when we actually have the 30% extra skill power active. So let's get to it. We have the same M44 as our secondary, high 172 headshot damage, competent, talented, skilled. Even with the M44 does a lot of damage. I'm at 172 headshot damage. So you're still gonna crit around 400,000, sometimes closer to 5. So to have a, I don't want to say a skill build, but like a skill support build, whatever you want to say, and be able to still hit for 400,000, damage that's a lot. So that means you're able actually to, able to kill enemies. Sometimes without enough firepower, you can shoot at enemies, but your teammates are finish them off before you can. So you don't always get a chance to trigger that. But if you're actually sniping, you could potentially, hit skilled to get the signature skill resources by 5%. Plus, you get the talented, and you get your extra skill power. Also, when you're inside the support station with the Reclaimer, my Reclaimer build, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Reclaimer build, the ammo cache mod does give you 30% signature skill resource gain. For anybody that don't know, I think I left that out the other video. So we have our M44, and then we're actually using the MG5. The reason I'm using MG5, I like the talents I had on it, competent, talented, and I actually have brutal. In my Reclaimer video, I said you have a third slot. You can do what you want in there. You can go with ferocious. That's a flat 10%, but that's against elite enemies. Brutal is just extra damage you're going to be able to do, but the same thing down here. You could have put that determined down there, so each kill you get, that reduces your skill cooldowns. But brutal is just basically having you be able to do extra damage. The main reason we're actually using this is I didn't want to use an M60. With the high RPM, you're able to suppress enemies quicker, and then having 50 in the mag, plus once you throw the extended mag on, we're at 110, and then 843 RPM. You're able to suppress enemies. If you suppress them, that gives your teammates a chance to actually move up. So for example, in the beginning of Dragon's Nest, you have the heavies coming out, the rushers coming out, and then you eventually have to move up, and you have the mechanics to send the little cars at you that want to blow up on you and shit like that. But if you suppress them, they won't actually do that. So you stand back, you go ahead, lay down some suppressing fire, and then let your teammates with the actual firearms and DPS move up and finish them off. All right, so same thing. We'll go over our chest piece real quick, go over all the pieces real quick, and then we'll actually show you an example of everything. So Vigorous chest piece, skill, haste, health, high electronics, ammo, and then we have our electronics mods with skill, haste. All right, Tactician mask, we have skill power, burn resistance, high electronics, and then our mod on there is another electronics with skill haste. All right, we have our Tactician knee pads. We do have high electronics, armor's pretty high, health, burn resistance, increased kill XP, damage to elites. I actually chose these just because of the increased kill XP. These are not used as the normal PvP Tactician or anything like that. This is, like I said, it's a global event Tactician where you're using this build because we have to be able to do the global events in order for us to actually get the classified gear. So this is not the final, 6-piece classified tactician or anything like that, but it's just a tactician that if you do not have the reclaimer, you can use the tactician, and then actually be able to make this build. Increased kill XP just means you get more field proficiencies. Damage to elites means you'll do a little more damage to those elites. And then depending on if you're using a turret or whatever you choose to use, you'll also, do more damage also. But that's the Kneepads. 2-piece Tactician gives us the 15% skill haste. 3-piece gives us the 10% skill power, which is why we're at 314. That is without talented and any other bonus, and of course without the 4-piece actually being procced. And then we have our mods down here. We have the 2 electronics with skill power because we're already at our 50% skill haste cap, and then we have a 7.5% support station range, which is the highest you can actually get right now. All right, and then we'll actually go to our other tactician just to finish everything off. I am, high electronics, could be higher. We have LMG damage, critical hit damage for extra damage, and then we have our 9% skill haste on those, and then our 1-piece reclaimer, holster we use in our reclaimer video. Electronics could be higher. Firearms would be great if that was higher too. And then we have skill haste. All right, and for our ninja bike, messenger bag, high electronics, we have health, ammo, and then we have a firearms mod with skill haste, so we can unlock the talents on our weapons. And then we have 2 of those 7.5 support station range mods, and that's basically the build. On the reclaimer holster, we also have another one of those 7.5% support station range mods. I don't know if I mentioned that before. And then the backpack, for anybody who haven't seen the backpack, I have a skin on it now, but there's the ninja bike messenger bag. There's a JTF also standing out there not doing nothing as usual. They could be trying to save New York, but they're doing nothing. Just nothing. Nothing's being done. Just not doing nothing. But we have a ninja bike messenger bag. They're going to be changing that to wild card. And I'm assuming it's going to read somewhere along the lines that when equipped, it will give you the next set bonus if a gear piece is equipped. So if you have 1, it gives you the 2nd. If you have 2, it gives you the 3rd. If you have 3, it gives you the 4th. And it's as simple as that. So obviously right now I cannot actually do the 30%, but just think 30% and just think of 1/3, for example. So in theory, well, not even in theory, this would be a fact. I just can't show you because I can't activate the 4th piece tactician right this second because this is not 1.7. But I figured I'd do this so if you're in 1.6 right now, 1.6.1 or whatever the hell, right now in your plan, you can kind of see if you want to work and actually get the pieces to actually do this build instead of waiting until the last minute. Also, if you have exotic caches, weeklies, caches, do not open those. You can if you really want to, but if you do not have the ninja bike messenger bag, nobody's gonna have classified gear. The next step up is the ninja backpack. So if you don't have the ninja backpack, save your exotics, save your weeklies. If you run survival, save your survival caches because the survival caches have a chance to give you exotics also. 1.7 drop, open all that shit up and you're cool. The ninja bike, they stopped it from actually dropping in the game because it wasn't doing shit, it was worthless, so they stopped it. I happen to save a few of mine that I can actually use, so I'm doing that. But there's the build. But like I said, if you figure 30%, just say 1/3, we're already at 300,000 skill power. We would be dropping a support station the same size as a reclaimer, but with 400,000 skill power. I'm just taking, we have 300,000, 1/3, there's 100. So we will be around, somewhere around the ballpark of 400,000 skill power for a reclaimer, which increases the amount that we're skilled, the health of it, and the duration. So, and then we have our vigorous chest piece. So we have a large area to move around and still receive that overhill. So I think it's gonna work out. All right, then for our abilities, we have first aid. This can easily be swapped to booster shot or the defibrillator. Um, the defibrillator, I would say, probably would make more sense to run. The cooldown on it's going to be a lot less. Once your talent is procced or any other bonuses is procced, your cooldown is actually going to drop down. But the defibrillator, if you're in a support station and your teammates are kind of moving out, you can hit this with them and it'll automatically revive them without somebody physically having to revive them or throw a support station to revive them. And then it gives them a little more freedom to move around. And then while you're suppressing enemies, they can kind of move up. If they go down, you can kind of hit them with the defibrillator, get them back up. So I will actually be using this with that. And then you can also use booster shot if you choose to also. Obviously we're using a support station. The support station right now heals for 10,000 HP per second. Excuse me. Damn. 10,600 HP per second. Cooldowns in a 12-second cooldown. So you get that back pretty quick. Once the 4-piece Tactician is activated, you'll get it back quicker, and it will heal for more. You can also switch out the support station range mods for support station healing speed if you choose to. I think it makes more sense to give your teammates more space to move around in. So worst case scenario, if they do go down and you can't heal them or they can't heal themselves, at least they're not crawling back to the support station or something like that. They actually have space to move around. And then we have our recovery link. A lot of times during missions, I'll switch that from the recovery link to the survival link because everybody runs the recovery. Or sometimes I'll be in a group and we'll run 2 recovery, 1 tac, 1 survival link. So any combination you want, but that's the only thing I would actually switch. For our talents, we actually have triage, which they did fix. Basically triage, it procs each time somebody enters, if they enter separately right now, but they're changing it so it only procs once. So that's the 15% reduced skill cooldown. Battle buddy, that affects you and your team, especially when you're using a support station. So if you're running a support station, you should definitely be using battle buddy. That helps out you and the whole team. All right, then we do use combat medic, which is pop a med kit near teammates and it'll heal them. So even if your first aid is not back, if you pop your med kit, teammates getting low on health, pop your med kit and that'll heal them up. And then we're also using strike back, reach low health to reduce active skill cooldowns by 20%. Your job is to put your support station out, support your team. If you're dead, you can't do that. So at least if your health is getting low, you can get that back quicker and hopefully put it back out, save you and your team, and they'll say you're the hero and all that stuff, and it'll be great. Hopefully. So, like I said, this is our 1.7 global event Tactician. This is going to be used, to go through the missions. Obviously, you can switch it to an immunizer, the support station to an immunizer, depending on, or whatever you choose to, switch it to. But this is supposed to make the global events a little bit easier, depending on whatever modifiers on. So any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. On Xbox, it's Ant for Gaming. PlayStation is Ant for Music. You like the video, please subscribe, all that good shit. Share, tell your friend to make friends, and tell those friends to check out the video.